Welcome to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner, investment advisor, and insurance professional Alfie Townsend, president of Advantage Retirement Group.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. This is Saving the Investor radio show. I am Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida certified financial planner professional, here with Pastor John Antonucci. And what a week in the market. We had a lot of down days, but we did have one historic big day. Bigly, we'll talk about that in a bit. But welcome to the show, and welcome, John.
Yeah, good morning, Southwest Florida. So great to be with you. You know, we do have an important program ahead that you want to stay tuned to, especially with what's all that's happening in the market this week. You know, Alfie's going to bring you up to speed on the Trump tariffs and the latest market developments, and he'll share some insights and strategies to help you navigate the current landscape that we're in with confidence. But before we do jump in, I do have a special offer for all of our listeners today. You know, Alfie's book, Making Waves in Retirement, has been such a hit that he's decided to release a limited number of free copies. Once again, there's a complimentary copy awaiting you. And this book is a must-have for anyone seeking a fulfilling retirement, full of practical guidance, real-life success stories, and strategies. Alfie has really helped countless thousands and thousands of people over his 40-year career as a certified financial planner professional. Pick up your phone, call the operator, and ask for the book, or text the word book to 239-747-1077. Again, you can pick up your complimentary copy of Alfie's brand new book, Making Waves in Retirement, by calling the operator and asking for it, or texting the word book, 239-747-1077. And Alfie, what a roller coaster ride it was this week. Markets were, a few days there was a little bit rocky, but we had a big day as well. So things are up and it's down.
Yeah, it's going to be that. But the big day that we had was nice. It was welcome news to the market that President Trump said what he said about pausing everything for 90 days and keeping the 10% tariff, and then adding tariff to China.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, you have the European Union, you have Japan, you have all these countries that are coming on board that want to be a part of this is, really America. And then you have China that's on their own there. And I think that's what Trump is trying to do, is just isolate them to say, you know what, okay, we got to make a deal. And it's the art of the deal. He is going to get them to the table. And when they come to the table, you're going to see another rally on the market, because that's a big one they want to the table is China. So this big rally that we had, think about it. If China was on the table at that time, we would have had probably another 1,000 points. It would have been the biggest. It was the biggest, but it would have been just much bigger than what it was. Even though it was gigantic, it was the biggest one I've ever seen, and I think the Dow had the biggest single day ever point wise. So once China comes to the table, you're going to see another rally, and they will, because they have to.
Yeah, why not put more pressure on him? I mean, I like what Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, said. He said, I do business over in China, and, they manipulate their currency. They don't do things, ethically right. He's advocating for a 400% tariff on China to really put pressure on them, because they can't stand pat with that for a long period of time, can they?
Oh, yeah, and they were, I think one of Trump's people were talking on Fox a couple days ago, and they were saying that the ship containers are going to be just sitting there, and it's going to put pressure on them, because they have to produce 24/7. If they're not producing 24/7, they're a country that is, we don't really know the whole story of China, but their economy is not that strong. It's based on us buying, and is very fragile right now. So negotiation is, and this could be payback also for COVID. That's what I was thinking. This could be some payback for COVID, what happened during that. So, and I think it's also, hey, you are big, you are definitely a powerhouse, but we are the biggest, and I think Trump is flexing, and I think we'll see what happens. Hopefully, some good things will come from it with China. But we do have to negotiate, because we're, I think, $250 billion a year deficit we're carrying because of them. With what we send over and what they send over here, it's 400 like 150. It's not even close. So we do need to get that. But we're going to talk about that some more. But the good thing happened on Thursday. We had some inflation numbers come out, and they were a lot sharply down in March. And this is very good. This is underscoring really the economic strength and resilience of the United States. It's the first time, and this goes back that it's fallen on a monthly basis since May of 2020.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So inflation back then, remember what it was? It's been climbing or just staying steady, but this was a nice downturn. And and the other thing that was down too, John, was jobless claims remain low. Jobless claims remained at a low level. It rose only like 4,000 to 223,000. So a lot of people are not looking for, getting unemployment checks. That's a good thing. And the recession fears ease. That is another big ticket item right there. So you have inflation numbers that came down a little bit, and then you have, they were talking inflation. JP Morgan was up to like, I think 60% or something. It was going to be ridiculous that we were going to be in a recession. And if you looked at the media, if you looked at the Main Street media, they were talking about we're going to be in a Great Depression, we're going to be in a recession,
they want us in one.
They want us in one, and they are, when that market went up on Wednesday, they were not probably happy about that, and that just helped everybody with their 401ks. And look, we're going to have volatility. It's just not like one-time rise, but now that the markets, they don't like uncertainty. Markets do not like uncertainty, and knowing that there's a pause for 90 days and there's a certain 10% tariff in place, that right there, they know what they're dealing with now, these countries right now. So you're going to start to see Audi shipping their cars again. You're going to start to see Jaguar and, the Rolls-Royce and Bentley. My good friend over there in Naples, he's going to be, happy camper. But he wasn't concerned. He knew this was, we talked, Jason and I talked, and he said, he feels it's more of a negotiation than anything in it. And he was right. And, we were right. We've been talking about that. So good things are going to be happening, I think.
Yeah, it can't be really long term. I mean, it can't be because long term.
No, because it hurts everybody. And the last thing Trump wants is an economy that is stalled. He wants to grow this economy. And again, the other thing we're not talking about, John, is the trillions and trillions of dollars that companies said they're going to invest over here. They want to do business here. And I heard Mike Opelka a couple of days ago talking about Trump is just not the negotiator. He's a salesman, and he sells the country of the United States why you want to do business here. And people want to do business here. It's like, why do you want to stay in his hotels? Because they're magnificent. They're beautiful. It's something that you're not going to see every day.
Yeah, it's true. And this would be a great time for you to come in for a review, especially if you panicked this week and maybe sold, a lot of stock and missed the greatest day in history, up over 2,900 points. You really want to sit down with Alfie. He's put together what's called a retirement simulator process, which is a deep dive into your current portfolio to see what's really going on. Alfie will make sure that you're allocated properly, that you're diversified correctly, that you're not taking undue risk for the amount of return that you're getting each and every year. He's going to expose all the hidden fees that could be eating up your returns, and he's going to make sure you're rebalancing. Listen, you really need to get a second pair of eyes. Even if you've been with an advisor for many, many years, why not let Southwest Florida's premier certified financial planner professional with over 40 years experience. He's also a fiduciary, which means his responsibility is to you, not to any products or services that he does offer through the Advantage Retirement Group, though he has products and services that you can't get out in the marketplace on your own. He's got proprietary products. You want to find out more about that. Listen, don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. Pick up your smart device right now. Be one of the first 9 callers, because that's all he can handle this week, and text the word VISIT VISIT to 239-747-1077. If you don't text, call the number. Tell the operator I want to visit with Alfie in Fort Myers or Naples. Text the word visit 239-747-1077. You owe it to yourself to have a review this week. Don't miss it. We're going to be right back right after this break, so don't go away. Welcome back to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend. You know, Alfie has over 40 years experience as a certified financial planner professional. And if economic uncertainties this week have put your financial decisions on hold, you really need to grab a hold of Alfie's free toolkit that will help transform your worries of retirement into confidence. You know, inside Alfie's free toolkit, you're going to receive a wide range of materials such as will your money last as long as you do? Are you paying too much in taxes in retirement? The Social Security Decisions Guide. Will a recession rob your retirement? Listen, you need to pick up the phone right now. Call the operator or text the word KIT, K-I-T, to 239-747-1077. Get your complimentary toolkit that Alfie has put together, tailor-made especially for you, the savvy investor. Call the operator or text the word KIT to 239-747-1077. And Alfie, we're talking about jobless claims being low. We're talking about inflation coming down. We haven't even hit 100 days yet. The tariffs are working. Seems like everything this guy puts his hand to seems to be the right choice. I mean, I know he's made mistakes in the past, but I mean, he's really clicking on all cylinders right now.
Right now, he has a team around him that he never had before. The old team he had when in 16, his first term, it just, at 45, there was a lot of rhinos there, and these were teams that Chris Christie really picked for him.
Right.
They were trying to fill in, but these are his people. You have Patel and FBI. You just have some great, Bondi. She's doing such a great job. Like you said, he's clicking on all cylinders right now. And yes, is there a lot? Biden left us in a mess, and he didn't leave us. His administration left us in a mess because whoever was running the country was just running it to the ground.
It's all coming out in these books that they're writing that he didn't even know where he was.
He didn't even know where he was, and I think they're looking at all these signatures on all these.
Auto
pen that might be able to reverse some of them because these are ones that he didn't really authorize.
Well,
most likely
pardoning major criminals. They're not for our country. Whoever was at the polling.
Yeah. Why and what reason? What was that about?
Yeah.
You have to dig deeper on that. But some of the stocks last week, John, we talk about like if we didn't have really clients that give us a call. How they look. Some of them called us and said, Alfie, I know it's we're gonna have volatility. Just want your reassurance, and that's normal. Okay. We didn't have them say go to cash or anything, but just think if you would have went to cash, and your Tesla stock is down, right? And on that one day of surge on Wednesday, just Tesla stock went 23% up.
It was like $47 a share up. It's amazing.
Yeah, and just one. It was just one day, and then you had Nvidia that's been taking a beating, 19% up in one day, and that was at Wednesday. So Tesla was their second highest day in history. So things are that's why you can't time the market. We talk about it all the time. If you miss that one good day, and that Wednesday was a historic day. It was the best day really ever in the history of the Dow and NASDAQ. And, I think it was first or second at the top, rise of something like this. And that's why it's so hard to, when to get in, when to get out. And there's going to be day traders out there. And the problem about day trading is that you can hit home runs and you can lose a ton of money.
Right.
And the problem with that is if you want to sit around and do that, you could do that. Our clients tend to, if they want to do options and stuff like that, we have that department, but we have a team that we partner with that's about 40 people looking out over those options, and that's what you want. You want a team of 40 people to help you with those options. You don't want to be doing those yourself. some of these, some of these options, that these accounts that we have, you would have to do, hundreds of trades a day, and you just can't do it.
Right.
You just can't.
And they said $4 trillion came into the market that day, which means that people want to be in the market, right? I mean, the market is, even though we've had crashes in the past, probably 5, 6 of them over the lifetime of the market, each and every time it's come back to an all-time high after the fact. And I mean, people want to be in the market. Why is that? Why do people want to be in the market?
Because the market is the best wealth creation out there, okay? More people have become millionaires because of the market that would have never been millionaires. You have people that are janitors that are millionaires. You have school teachers that are millionaires. Postmen. Yes, you have people that would not be a millionaire based on their income, based on their, their salary, based on their job that they chose, but they are millionaires because they trusted the market, and they trusted companies. And if a company, and my mom always said, she's always said, I like to buy companies that I use. So she loves Starbucks, and so she would buy companies that she was familiar with, and sure enough, you have a good feel because you're in there, what they're doing.
Yeah, and they're not going away, like Apple,
yeah,
company, and then NVIDIA. These are companies that are going to be around.
Yeah, yep. And Apple right now is, it had a nice rise, but Apple is one that, they're going to have that flip phone coming out soon, but they're going to start getting their factories away from China.
Well, I just got Pam a phone yesterday, and it said assembled in India, which was interesting. I never saw that before.
Yep. So you have these different countries that are going to start, Indonesia, India, and Vietnam. Yeah, you're going to have these countries that are going to be taking market share away from China. And one thing that we, if you want to make toys over there and this and that, but to make, to give them the power to copy an iPhone, or to, it's just, that's the thing. They make all their money in their products from really stealing.
That's why
technology,
all these Chinese companies that are dirt cheap to buy the same things.
Yeah, and that's what Trump wants to take away from them. And if he does that, you're going to see China is not going to be the superpower they are right now.
They're not going to be happy with us then, if we start pulling all our products out of there.
Yep, they're not going to be happy, but, it is what it is. They're going to have to find new market shares somewhere else. I think they're going to get weaker and weaker, so that's what you want. But, you sent me something about the, I'm going to let you read it since you sent it, the 5 market crash advice by Warren Buffett. So this is Warren Buffett, and these are the top 5 market crashes that are, this is the advice of the king himself, Warren Buffett. And we always talk about the first one. And the first one, I'll do the first one. It says, be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. So if you think about that right there, John, the first, when it was first talked about, these tariffs, the market tanked, and then the market tanked again, then tanked again. It was awful tanking, but everyone's fearful then. So what does most people do when they're fearful? They sell, or they don't do what you're supposed to do. What Warren Buffett says and what the billionaires are saying, I always say, you might not be a billionaire, but you want to act like a billionaire, right?
Right.
And what are they doing? They're buying because things are down, and they were the benefactors of getting a 23% on Tesla, getting 19% on NVIDIA, because they were, you might not have got all that because you didn't buy at the bottom, but that was one day that it went up. So these are things where this is how they make money. So what's the second one, John? Okay, the stock market is designed to transfer money from the active to the patient. So,
that's what you preach.
Yeah. You got to be, you have to, it's designed to transfer money from the active to the patient. You have to have patience in this. If you're not patient, you're going to be, trying to sell in and out every day, and you're going to miss opportunities. You're going to, it can cost you your retirement. So you can't, you just cannot be in a situation that if you're doing this, you shouldn't be managing your money yourself. Number one, because if your emotions are in the play, that's where I say we make money. We'll read the other ones after we get back on the other half. But if you manage your money, and if that's where we make money for our clients, okay? Because we say, listen,
and you're buying what's going down, right?
And we're rebalancing, buying what's going down, and we're just saying, don't, let us take care of this. You go play golf, you go fishing, or you go play pickleball, and that's a big thing right now, pickleball. You're playing pickleball, right? Okay. And I know David, your son, is starting to play pickleball there. So anyway, these are things that I say we make money from. You're listening to Saving the Investor. I'm Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida certified financial planner professional. We're going to talk more about what you should be doing and what you should not be doing in times like this with the market. Our phone number is 239-747-1077. That is 239-747-1077. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Saving the Investor. This is Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida certified financial planner professional, here with Pastor John Antonucci, and this has been a historic week we just had in the market. We've had some down days, we know that, but man, that historic up day on Wednesday really set the mood for the market going into the week. And we're going to have volatility in the market, but that's okay. But once we have China that is saying, okay, let's make a deal, you're going to see another historic upward day in the market. So just don't be one of those people that are sitting on the sideline waiting, and then, because when you get in, it's going to be, dang, too late. You missed the boat again. So you just have to rebalance and have patience, buy on the dips. That's what rebalancing is. But then when it goes up, it's going to be a great day.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about 5 market crash advice by Warren Buffett, and Alfie's going to sort of delve into a couple of these because this is an important one. Opportunities in the market.
Say the first one in case people missed it.
Yeah, we'll go back to the first one. You want to be, when people are fearful, you want to be greedy. And when people are greedy, you want to be fearful. You want to pull back. The stock market is designed to transfer money from the active to the patient. Alfie talked about the fact that you have to think long-term. You have to stay within the framework of the market. You can't day trade or buy and sell every time the market moves. You got to stay patient. But really, this is important. Opportunities are coming frequently. The market pretty much stays around that number, but there are opportunities. And he said, when it rains gold, don't put it out a thimble, put out a bucket. In other words, so, when the market went down a lot this past week, your money managers were probably buying a lot of good opportunities there because they don't normally see it all the time, do they?
Yeah. So when markets are going down, these are times, options. We have options. We do a lot of programs for our clients that are option based, like our tender notes, our structure notes, and these are things that are, and then our, how about this? This is a perfect example what we do for our clients. This is, clients come in with a portfolio that have a lot of gains and they don't want to liquidate it. So, we're going to do some option trading for them to create some losses in portfolios. That means sell some of these losses while they're down. And, while you're doing that, you're selling losses, but let's say you're selling Exxon, but you're buying Chevron. So you're keeping them invested, but you can use these losses down the road for when you sell your gains. So if we can accumulate some losses, and when you have big downs like this, you got to take advantage of it. So when they're selling these losses, again, you're buying something to replace it. So when it comes up, because you can't sell a loss, John, for and buy it back right away. You have to wait 30 days. It's called a wash rule.
Okay. Day traders go in and buy the same thing
because they're not buying the same. They
can't buy the same.
They can't buy the same stock.
Gotcha.
Okay. If they're selling it for a gain, they can buy it back.
Right.
But if they're selling it for a loss, they can't buy it back for 30 days. It's called a wash rule.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. So then what they could do is like they could sell Lowe's at a loss and buy Home Depot, right? So you're still staying invested, but what it does, it allows you, this is called direct indexing, and this is what we do here at the Advanced Retirement Group. So if you have this right here will pay for having an advisor, because the amount of taxes you're going to save that we're able to save you. So think about this. If we have accounts that we are looking for losses and throughout the year, now we're not doing this at the end of the year because it might not be loss at the end of the year. We're doing it throughout the year, throughout the month.
And that's, does that save them on tax liability?
So what it does for them is it creates it creates this bucket of losses that you can that you would have never had. Think about this. When the market went down 1,000 points and then it went back up 1,000 points, okay, you have the same dollar amount. It went down 1,000, came up 1,000, so you're sitting with the same money. But if what we're going to do with some of these accounts, as it goes down, we're selling these stocks that are going down, right? And when it goes back up, you're at the same dollar amount, but what you have now is you have some carryover losses because we were actively managing your accounts that you can offset. So down the road, you want to sell $300,000 worth of Amazon, right? And you have $100,000 gain there. Well, guess what? You have $100,000 loss that we can offset that $100,000 gain, and you don't pay any taxes on that money.
That's nice.
That's real nice. Yeah. So that just saved you, $60,000 or so on your money. So this is something that you can do that we do for our clients. So anytime that we can look for opportunities, that's what we do here at the Advanced Retirement Group. We're not here just to put a income plan together for you. That's one of the most important things. Make sure your income is good. We're going to get you your income is solid. We're going to invest your money. We're going to grow that money. But then what we're going to do is you're going to have some money that you might not be able to move over your thinking because you have all these gains in there. I say, let us manage that bucket of money and let us show you what we can do with it, instead of just letting it sit there and build up more gain and have a ticking time bomb. What we're going to do is we're going to work that account so we can offset some of your gains when you sell it with losses by without you doing anything. You're going to be able to save quite a bit of money on taxes.
Yeah, maybe your advisor doesn't even talk about these type of things. Possibly, you're investing yourself and you don't even know how to take advantage of these options that Alfie's talking about. Why not give them a call, sit down with them in Fort Myers or Naples? All you have to do is text the word VISIT, VISIT, to 239-747-1077. Call the operator, make an appointment, find out more about this type of thing that could save you a lot of money in tax liabilities. We're talking about the 5 market crashes, advice from Warren Buffett, and he said the best chance to deploy capital is when things are going down.
Yeah,
that's an interesting,
and that's the hardest time.
Yeah.
So it's you have to be a contrarian, and a contrarian is going to be like a black sheep. They're going to
know how the market works. They've seen this for years.
But fear, the psychology of the market is the biggest, interest rate taker of the market, because it creates fear. So when that market is going down, they think it's going to continue going down, and they don't see an end to it. So they don't want to invest. They're frozen. And so that's the difference, being frozen or taking the emotion out of it. What we're going to do is we're going to say, this is an opportunity to buy these stocks. You liked them when they were $100 a share. Why don't you like them at $60 a share, right?
Like more.
You should like them more, right? If you believe in that company at $100 a share, you should really believe in it at $60 a share. But it's hard to do on your own a lot of times. That's what we're going to help you with over here. There's just a lot of, and the other thing is when the markets are down, Roth conversions are a great time to convert. That's when you want to do Roth conversions. So if the market has had a bad, couple weeks, So why not do a Roth conversion? We talk about it with our clients. And if, the markets are down, what you're doing, you still pay tax on the money that you're converting, but you have a big up day. You have some big up days. The markets are going to grow. As it grows, you are going to be able to grow and have that gain going to be tax-free now because you did those Roth conversions. So it has a better opportunity to grow because you got it at a low rate. So I'll tell you, there's so many different things you can do with when markets are volatile, and you just have to really sit back and say, okay, I'm going to put my trust with somebody. Who's it going to be? And that's what the question that you have to ask. Who's it going to be? Are they talking about the things that we're talking about? Are they optimistic like we are? Are they talking about Roth conversions? Are they talking about direct indexing? Are they talking about taking income from a structured note? Are they talking about income planning, tax planning, legacy planning? If they're not, maybe you have the wrong advisor. I always say a lot of times people that come in here, they have outgrown their advisor. They are not talking about the things we're talking about. And that's how you tell if you outgrown your advisor, because they'll say, why isn't my advisor talking about this? And I said, well, maybe you've outgrown your advisor. You've had this advisor for a long time, and you've just surpassed that person, and it's time to make a change. Change is important. Change is constant. So this is something that we can show you if you've outgrown your advisor.
Yeah, it's important to deal with somebody who has 40 years experience as a certified financial planner professional. Alfie is Southwest Florida's premier financial planner. He's a strategist, and he has products and services that you probably never heard of, opportunities that are here that could really change your investment landscape. What you want to do is you want to pick up the phone, be one of the first 9 callers right now, and visit with him in Fort Myers or Naples. All you have to do is call the operator or text the word VISIT, VISIT, to 239-747-1077. Alfie's going to take your current portfolio back 5 years, put it side by side with his, and show you exactly how his portfolio would have performed right next to yours, which we can look back 5 years and see exactly how they both did. He's going to make sure that you're allocated properly, diversified correctly, that you're not taking undue risk for the amount of return. Alfie has a riskalyzer that he's going to put you through. It's not just what's your risk factor, 0 to 10. He has a computer program that will really assess your risk to make sure that you're in the right equities, the right balances of what your portfolio should be to your temperament, your emotional status. So basically, he's going to put that all together for you, creating an income plan and a strategy that will get you to and through retirement. Listen, you have to be one of the first 9 callers right now. Pick up the phone. Don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. Call or text the word VISIT to 239-747-1077. You owe it to yourself to get a second opinion, a second pair of eyes. And if you don't have an income plan or a strategy, you need to sit down with Alfie this week, 239-747-1077. 1077. You could text the word VISIT or call the operator. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back right after this break, so don't go away. Welcome back to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner Alfie Townsend. Alfie's book was in high demand last week, and due to popular demand, Alfie is offering it again. A complimentary copy of his book awaits. To claim your book, all you have to do is text the word book, B-O-O-K, or call the operator at 239-747-1077. Alfie's book is your guide to a fulfilling retirement. Don't miss out on these valuable insights, including many, many stories about investors that he's helped save over his 40-year career. Pick up the phone, call the operator, text the word book, B-O-O-K, to 239-747-1077 right now. And Alfie, when we talk about the market, it's always going up and down, but really there's only been, including this past week, 7 real crashes that we could say. 1929 was the biggest one, but there was one in 74, 87, 2002, 2009, and 2020, all going down between 34 and 57%. But right after that, they all came back to record highs. We're talking about 7 times since 1929, almost 100 years. That's a pretty good track record. I know past performance isn't really an indicator of future success, but the market really is a stable place to put your money, isn't it?
It is. You have to make sure you're diversified, make sure that everything's not going down when the markets are going down. But overall, you're right, John. When the markets have a big downturn like it's had the last week or so, it's because obviously this happened because of the tariffs. This happened because of the fear of a recession. And the media was not helping with it either. They were just talking bad about it the whole time. We're going to be in a depression. We're going to be in this. And that was putting the fear in everybody. And, they seem to always be on the wrong sideline. They're always on the wrong side when it comes to, they don't give Trump any benefit of the doubt. A lot of people didn't realize how much the tariffs were a deficit to our country. I mean, it's like $1.9 trillion a year.
But they've been doing it to us for all these years.
They've been doing it for us for years.
Don't people understand that he's just responding to what they've done?
And then, but if you think about it, so, yeah, they just look at it and say, well, that's okay. But it's not okay because it goes against, some of it goes against the national debt. And then it goes against us being able to make things and really compete on the same page. You're not competing on the same page when you're getting thrown a 200% tariff.
Sure.
So, make free trade, okay? So that will make everybody better. That will make everybody better, and the best team wins. That's how you do it. You put the best players on there, and the best team wins. So that's something that needs to be looked at. And then the Doge. Why are people getting mad of trying to save tax dollars that are wasted with the government? These people that are protesting, I'm looking at them and say, they can't even, when you ask a question about it, why are you protesting? And they can't really answer it.
Right.
Because there's not an answer to it.
They're getting paid, most of them, to protest.
They're getting paid to protest, but why would you burn a Tesla factory down and a Tesla down when majority of those people are Democrats? They're the ones that bought, first buying Tesla. Now the Republicans are buying Tesla because they're saying, you know what, I'm going to support Elon Musk. He's taking a hit on his net worth. Now, people say, well, he's worth so much. It's true. He's worth, billions and billions, the richest man. But look what he does. I mean, when there's a catastrophe with our country, he's the first one to respond. I'll give you our satellite radios. I'll give you our he's the one that steps up. He's not the one hiding like, like majority of them do. And they need him for his technology. I mean, they need him for, the things that he's doing. Look at the rescue, the astronauts up there. Who did they get? It wasn't NASA. It was Elon Musk. Did it in a heartbeat. And he was going to do it before. They didn't have to wait that long.
Right.
But Biden's team didn't want anything to do with Elon Musk because that would make him look good.
Right.
Instead of looking at the best interests of the astronauts. So, these are things that we have very, very smart people here in the United States, and we're going to be able to make America even greater than what it is, especially when companies are going to be putting their money, $7 trillion. Talking about that's not going to stir the pot there. That's going to create jobs. That's going to create construction jobs. Yes, these factories take a long time to build. Okay, but in the meantime, you have construction, you have buying products and everything to get it going. So these are all, people want to do business here. And if they see the United States as a powerhouse, which we are, but it's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger, I think it's going to be great for not just us. It's going to be great. Our German friend, Marion, he's very...
they just got a nice new government in there, too.
Yes, yes. He loves, and when I first, I knew when he first got elected in the first time, he didn't like Trump. He bet me $100, still haven't got paid on him yet, that he would not be there 4 years.
Right.
I said he will be there 4 years, and but now he knows the importance of President Trump and what he's doing, and when you can have, like my friend Kevin said, that Trump proved that he can tweet one thing out and have trillions of dollars go into the market and help the world increase their market by what he said. And we're going to pause tariffs for 90 days and the market takes off. he is the most powerful man in the world. No ifs, ands, or buts. And no one's ever really seen someone that's like this.
Yeah, it's amazing.
He's not a politician.
He's not. And if I was China, I would take the tariffs off immediately because, I mean, basically, if these companies pull out, they're going to be in worse shape. If they take the tariffs off, we're going to just continue to buy from them, and all those containers are going to keep coming across the wire. I think Amazon's rejecting some shipments now from China. So who knows what's happening?
Yeah, because of the tariffs.
Yeah.
So this is something where you're listening to Saving the Investor radio show. I'm Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida certified financial planner professional, and if nothing else, this is something that we have. There's going to be more upticks in this market when China comes back to the table and says, "Let's make a deal." And so you don't want to miss that. If you're in a position that you're sitting on the sideline, you don't know, your advisor isn't being giving you that reassurance that you need, just give us a call. Come in. John will tell you how to set up an appointment with us. Let us analyze everything. Let us analyze. It's called the Retirement Simulator. We will analyze your portfolio. We will do a side-by-side comparison. But the most important thing, you'll know what you own. You'll know if you have a lot of international. Do you have a lot of long-term stocks or bonds, short-term? These are things that you need to know. And really, what's your fees? What are you paying for all this stuff? So let us do that for you and put you in a position to really, if America is going to be prosperous and your markets are going to most likely be going up with all this good activity we have going on, put yourself in a good place. And we can help you do that.
Yeah, pick up the phone before we go off the air right now. Be one of the first 9 callers and call 239-747-1077. You also can text the word visit to that number, 239-747-1077. You'll be visiting with Alfie and his team in Fort Myers or Naples, 2 beautiful offices. Get an income plan, get a strategy, get a comparison. Let them put your portfolio through that vigorous stress test of that retirement simulator process to make sure that deep dive. He'll show you all the hidden fees that are there, all the things that are going on in your portfolio that you need to address. Pick up the phone right now before we go off the air, 239-747-1077.
So I was really looking forward to this show this morning, John, because this was, there was a lot of tension out there, and that was great news that really our country and our everyone in the world needed to hear was a 90-day pause, and let's get this thing going. Let's get these tariffs to do what, get a more fair across the country, across the aisles for us and them, and make it where we can work together and build some great products and build some factories, build some business over here that wasn't even planning on coming over here, but they want to come over here. So very good week. Yeah, we had negative in the market for sure, but it's going to be like that. Just hang in there, and great things will come, especially once China comes to the table. So that's you're listening to Saving the Investor. I don't know if you ever seen our TV show. It's on NBC2 right after Meet the Press. It's NBC 11 to 11:30. So watch that show. You can DVR it and speed through the commercials. There's not too many commercials on there, so it's all solid information for you. And then, of course, right here on 92.5, we just love this radio station. Jake the Millennial, big wig now, but we're still blessed to have him here, kind enough to do our show. So until next week, I hope everybody has a blessed week. Be blessed. Bye.